Good day everyone, and welcome back to Dragalia Lost How to Play. On today's show, we have a very special guest with us. Please say hello to Louise, known around the Halidom as the Doting Sister.
Thank you for inviting me here today, Straight Lace.
It's great to have you. So why don't we get started with a little bit about yourself?
Well, I'm an archer who uses wind magic to enhance my attacks. I'm currently living at the Halidom with my brother Lowen, and I've been helping the prince fight the Empire to protect people from fiends.
Quite admirable. How did you meet the prince?
Well, a while back, my brother and I had to flee our village. I've been taking care of him ever since our mother passed away, but our village's guardian dragon Garuda was demanding Lowen as a sacrifice, so I took Lowen and ran.
Wait a minute, I know Garuda. She's up in the dragon's roost right now. She's certainly not the evil sacrifice demanding type.
Well, it turns out she just wanted to be friends with Lowen and wasn't very good at expressing her feelings. But while running from her, we bumped into the prince. He lent us a hand, and we've been returning the favor ever since.
I see. So what have you been up to these days?
Well, I spent a lot of time these past few years taking care of Lowen, so I'm trying to let him be independent and work on other projects. I help Cleo with a lot of chores around the Halidom, and I also use my bow skills and wind magic to help the prince in battle.
Cool. Do you have any special skills in combat?
I do. I channel wind magic to create a piercing wind that modifies my arrow with toxic wind that can poison targets, and I recently improved my technique to heal myself a little as well.
Ah yes, poison is very popular these days. Delphi and Hawk use it almost instrumentally.
Actually, I'm the one who taught Hawk to use poison a while back. In exchange, he helped me improve my skill Arrow Shower to deal more damage against poison foes than it already did. I'm still working on the technique, so I have a hard time focusing if I'm not at my best.
Yeah, I get that, like if Renzel hasn't eaten in 48 minutes. So what else do you do around the Halidom?
Well, I mentioned that Cleo has a lot of chores. She works hard to keep everything in order, so I made sure to get the hang of things to help her and the other staff complete their chores quickly.
That's quite nice of you, but maybe staff members like Melody shouldn't be moving too quickly. She still seems to get bogged down by all the chores. How do you manage?
Well, while I was taking care of Lowen, I learned to overcome things that might bog me down, and I've recently been learning to use the same wind magic I use to poison enemies to also help myself and others stand up to such an element.
Awfully specific, but I like your can-do attitude.
When a problem gets tough, you just have to fight harder. The same goes for chores and combat.
Speaking of combat again, Renzel and Hope have both mentioned that you seem to fight harder whenever they go in the defense. Is there any reason for that?
There is actually. When we were growing up, Lowen wanted to help me out and started learning wind magic as well. He also mustered up a gale of protection, and every time I felt it, I wanted to fight harder to protect him. Now, whenever I feel a defensive buff, it reminds me of Lowen and makes me want to hit harder.
That's so sweet. You really care about your brother.
Thank you.
So now I'd like to ask you about some personal preferences. What's your favorite bow?
There are a lot of good bows out there for channeling wind magic, but the bow Proof of the Wind is a sylvan bow Eleonora showed me that easily channels wind magic.
Kind of a weird name, but I'll take your word for it. And I'm guessing your dragon pact of choice is Garuda?
Actually, I work really well with Pazuzu. He also channels wind, but it's much more destructive, which is good for combat and matches my skill, though I still do refer to Garuda's Gale of Beauty and Lowen's Gentle Winds to keep a balanced stance.
Cool. Just a few more questions. Who do you like to hang out with at the Halidom when you're not working?
Well, recently I've been teaching Cleo to paint, and she's been teaching me how to perform a technique called, what did she call it? Ancient Ray, I think? Zardan has also been dropping by recently to give me tips on beauty, but I can't say his ravishing rainbow style suits me.
So those are people who hang out with you, but who do you hang out with?
Well, I enjoy spending time with Delphi. He also has a younger brother, and we enjoy telling each other stories. Zoo likes to chime in as well with stories of his family, and recently we've been helping Zainfried take care of Phaidon and Felix.
I'm sure with your support they'll grow up to be big and strong someday.
Or big and adorable.
Well, we're just about out of time today, so do you have anything else you'd like to say?
Yeah, looking around, I know times are hard right now. Things look pretty bleak at times, and it's hard to look after ourselves and the ones we love, but it's important to remember that we're not alone, and we have people who care about us, and we can make a difference.
That's probably the most serious thing to ever be said in a How to Play, but I know no one can deny the truth in those words. So thank you for joining me today, and for the message of hope.
Look forward, everyone. The future is what we make it, and together we can see our goals achieved.
Of course. So until next time, stay safe everyone, and remember to stand up for others.